Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stronger, Deeper Marriage Show, where we help married couples and those thinking about marriage build relationships filled with peace, purpose, and passion. I'm your host, Lucille Reddic, the Harmony Expert, married for 41 years. My heart is helping couples communicate, heal, and grow through every season of marriage. And I'm joined by my amazing co host and wellness coach, Patti Hall, who's been married for 38 years and brings powerful insight on emotional, physical, and spiritual health in marriage. Together, our focus is simple helping couples build marriages that last. Pata.
Hello, everyone. I love the theme of today's show because building a strong marriage takes spiritual discipline and emotional endurance. Grit isn't just about pushing through, it's about caring for yourself so you can show up fully. When couples combine faith with healthy habits, prayer, communication, rest, and intentional connection, they build resilience in both body and relationship.
Thank you, Pata.
You're
Today,
welcome.
we welcome Jeff Smith. He's a pastor, relationship coach. He's been married for 15 years to his lovely wife, Deborah. He says it's his crush since seventh grade. Together, they lead ministry and a clothing line called Merch with a Message. Deborah is also a youth pastor and a makeup artist. Jeff is passionate about transparency, daily intentionality, and building marriages with God and grit. Jeff, welcome to the Stronger, Deeper Marriage Show. Is there
Welcome.
anything that I didn't say that you want to tell the audience about yourself?
Yeah, me. I have been coaching soccer for over 4 years. I have two amazing, beautiful children. Sarai, I think she's 23, and I have my amazing son Uriah, who is 11, who is
Yes.
okay.
There
Just
was
want
a
to
little lag,
make
but it
sure.
caught up. All right, fantastic. Well, all right, so we'll carry on. So I want to start today with it says you've known Deborah since childhood. How has your friendship shaped your marriage? Let me
That
see.
is a great.
I don't hear you. Okay.
That's a great question. I would say we have made it very clear that we always want to put where we were dating. And so we
Mhm.
had known each other since seventh grade. We were always friends. We didn't start dating until after she's a year older than me. So I'm in the eighth grade. So when I back to our old school, she had already graduated. And when we reconnected, it just felt like, man, we love just being around each other. So for us, our number one goal, one of the statements I always ask my wife when we go on dates is, how can I be a better friend to you?
Mhm.
Mm,
And we've seen for
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
it, in order for you want to like each other.
mhm,
And
Yes,
I've
that's
never met
huge.
anybody that doesn't like being. So for
Right.
me, it
mhm.
was I want to well, for both of us was how can we make this, and so that's something that for us, like why do we feel like we don't want to be around each other, all because we have messed around and become and business partners and not best friends. So
Mhm.
I love that. So, how did you come up with that? Did you see this in your home where you had the maturity level to ask, "How can I be a better friend to you?"
no, so my mom and dad, like they were good, like they, but when I was growing up, because they were young, I think in the beginning really good friends, or they were friends, but so hard that they became business partners because they weren't with each other a lot. My mom was a 911 police
Mm-hmm.
dispatcher. My dad was a social worker. He worked in group homes. They, he worked two jobs, was going to school. My mom, she would work crazy hours. Her job was like minutes away. So they kind of like hit and miss each other a lot. I didn't see a lot of the friendship part. I did see it work. Um, how did I come up with being friends? Um, but we were watching somebody, and I want to say it was at a marriage conference, and I want to say, were we married? Yeah, we were married for maybe like 2 years. It was like, he said, where marriages, we start out as best friends, roommates, then we go into business partners, then we to people that we don't like. And he said it's a
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
gradual movement. Best thing that you
Mm-hmm.
can always remember is you guys are friends before you were business partners. He was like, hey, did you pay the bill? Or hey, did you pick up the kids? He was like, okay, that's a business partnership. He said roommates
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
just kind of go in and out, talk a whole lot. It's, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Um, hey, you want to sit down and watch a movie? Sure. All right, man. And it's just that very minor conversations. You guys don't even talk about bills. You're just praying that they pay their bill and you pay your bill. I don't really like being around you. And so once he said that, it just reminded me I remain in friendship. I don't like if we get into business partnership. And so for me, that
Mhm.
was something that always resonated for me.
Okay, I love that friendship part. Um, so do you feel like you guys having your friendship helps during times of conflict? Because that's what I want. I feel like is needed in the space where um, people are working through their marriages. That conflict comes up and they feel like, oh, we shouldn't be together because now we got this conflict. He needs to be more like me, she needs to be more like me, but they maybe don't understand that it's just a normal part of it. So can you
Mm-hmm.
tell me, how does your friendship help you during your conflict and during those times of conflict?
Oh, oh yeah, absolutely. So say at the ending of every principle is a promise of our feelings are nothing. And
Mm,
when
I
I
love that.
say that, it's because I feel some type of way, but it doesn't mean my feelings are always true.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
principles of the word. And I made Eve suitable for Adam, it means that he custom made her for Eve. For he made Eve custom made for. Well, my wife is custom made for me. They'll
Mm-hmm.
become one. It doesn't say they start out as one. They become,
Mm-hmm.
which is a constant thing. And so for yeah, you do irritate me. You may do things and say things that frustrate me, but I'm gonna deal with that with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have your annoying habits than anybody else's, and you'd rather have annoying habits than anybody else.
Good point.
So, at the end of the day, you're gonna be frustrated when you're friends with somebody. You know who they are. You know their you be like, man, when they do that, why they breath stink like that? What is that? But that's my friend though.
Yep.
And you make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really being around somebody, like okay,
Yes.
or man, they keep your shoes outside this house because your feet stink. Okay, whatever. But at the same time, I want to be around you. I want to be around you.
Right.
Why?
Oh,
Because I
I
Right.
love
desire.
that.
It's a choice every single day. I'm making this choice. So
Right.
when
Mhm.
we say we're friends,
Yeah.
I'm not. This is not friends with benefits. This is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I love that. What you're saying to me, what is resonating in my heart right now, in my head, is that you can look past um, the temporary thing that's bothering you right now, whatever the conflict is. You know, like you said, the bad breath, your shoes being left in the den or whatever, the whatever, you stinky right now. You can look past that and you can look to the heart of the person because you still know the heart of the person, if I
Yes,
understand you
and
Yep.
correctly.
that is so true. I know a lot of times people like, what's the secret for being married so long? I know Lucille, you guys probably get this. What's the secret? What's the secret? I tell people, for me, there is no secret. The bottom line is that we're friends. I could be
Mhm.
doing absolutely everything with him or absolutely nothing, and I'm fine either way. I just like being in his presence. So
Mhm.
that friendship is great, and that's, I'm glad you are elaborating on that, because that's really important, to be friends. And for me, really, at one point in our marriage, I had to take wife out of the equation and just be his friend. And by the grace
Yep.
and the help of God, I was able to do that, because he wasn't being a good husband to me at that time. So,
Mhm.
but I know he needed me in his life. That was one of
Yeah.
the most difficult times, that I had to separate being a wife. Because I still really like this man, right? It's always that thin line between love and hate. We can go that really quickly, right?
Yes.
But to like somebody, you like them, like you say, when their feet stink, when they breath, you just like the person, you
Yeah.
know. So at that
Hmm.
point, I had to remove me being a wife from out of the equation and just be his friend, because he needed that friend. Because if I had left the situation altogether, it would have had a real detrimental effect on him as a person. Even if we weren't going to be together as man and wife, I still always wanted the best for him,
Oh,
because we
I
were
love
we,
that.
we were friends, and that was only by the grace of God I had the strength to do that. Other than that, it would have ended quite differently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So friendship is very, very important.
Very, very important.
And
And just like, when we have our friends and we can feel comfortable and have that safe space, can you share a little bit about transparency? Do you feel like transparency is important in building trust in a marriage?
oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If you can't be transparent with your best friend, is that really your best friend?
You're really your best friend.
Mhm.
Like when you are transparent, that may be 100% honest with you. You could be 100% honest with me. What we are saying is that greatness in you, and I want nothing but the best for you.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
Mhm.
let you
Mhm.
walk outside looking crazy. You're not gonna do that for me either. Like, so at the end of the, we are gonna be hey, like, so this is something that me and my wife tell my wife. She'll say, hey, I just want to put this out there. It's not a big deal to become a big deal. So I've
Mm.
Mm.
been noticing you have been doing, or you have and I don't know if it's knowingly or unknowingly, but it's not acceptable. So please, like, I need you to like explain where this is coming from, or why you've been saying that. Like, that's okay. Yeah, there's been times where I've preached, and I'll have two services that she'll come to me in between. She's like, normally I don't do this, but you said this during that first service. The sermon is job. She was like, stay where you're at, but you did this a lot, and that is that can come off very uh harsh. So just be mindful, X, Y, and Z. Stay in your lane. You're doing great.
Hmm.
I just want you to be
Hmm.
mindful that we want to be you're intelligent, you're brilliant, so don't do. Okay, cool. I don't take offense to that, because
Right.
Mhm.
1 Corinthians 13 says, love believes in things. And so if my wife believes in me, she should also be able to correct me and be transparent with me. My
Mm-hmm.
wife was like, hey, you know, I know what's happening this week, but you've been a little snappy with the kids or take care of this or whatever the case is. And she's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I didn't notice. Okay, yeah. Just wanted to put that out there. Why? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not a malicious thing of me being transparent with you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
want you to continue to be better. And if we always hope
Right.
for the best, see
Yes.
each other as the best, then we should be able to be transparent. If I'm not transparent with you, then honestly, we have a level relationship and not a deep and wide relationship.
Do you think it was
Absolutely.
easier to be transparent or have that level of transparency since you guys are really good friends? Or that's
Oh,
the
100%.
basis of how your relationship bloomed? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If we were some marriages for quite some time now, and one thing that I'm coming up against these past hours is people are getting married and they don't know each other. They get to know each other. I asked them this question: did you do? No. How long were you guys together? 6 months, 9 months, a year. Okay. Like there's a reason why in the Bible's in the multitude of counsel there's safety. This is why before you jumped in. Like
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
there are three decisions in your life that you are going to make that are the most important. The first one is you falling in love or remain. The second greatest decision that you ever make will be friendships that you keep around you. Final, which can go 2 or 3, is a person that you're gonna marry. That is either elevate your life or that will make your. And
Mm-hmm.
what people don't realize, marriage is not for play, for the week. This is not for people who quit. This is who uh just for recreation. I'm looking for happiness. That is not marriage. Marriage is gonna make you holy before it'll make you happy.
Yes,
And so,
absolutely.
stop watching Disney. Stop watching Disney. That is not what
Wait a minute, I can't have my happily ever after
that's
and
not
we
what
ride
you.
off into the sunset?
No, is that is the first 2 days. The honeymoon phase is over. You gotta back to reality. Like
Yep.
Back
that
to
is what happens.
reality.
And so, like it's for young people, for all people who want to be married. This question: if you not have a high capacity, just know you'll find out what your capacity is because that will offend you.
Mm-hmm.
That person is gonna say or do something you're not gonna like. They're not Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up. And you're gonna point fingers. They're gonna point fingers. You
Mm-hmm.
willing to have two fingers pointed back at you and die to your flesh
Yeah.
and say, hey, you know what? Yesterday when we had that discussion, I apologize. I never want you to feel like I don't hear you. I never want you to ever feel like I don't see you. I
Right.
never want you to ever feel like um I love you. And yes, in a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and I apologize that I said or did or acted out, whatever. Apologize. The quicker you can repent, the quicker you can heal. Cannot heal what you don't reveal.
Exactly.
You sure can. That is
Yeah.
so poignant.
So
I
true.
I remember, in my youth, because I got married when I was 22, and I wanted to be right about everything. I really am. I wanted to be a perfectionist and stuff. And I had a problem admitting and taking responsibility, for the things that I would do. And I just had to say, Lord, help me, because I could see all of the wrong stuff that my husband was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to say
Mm-hmm.
one day, Lord, help me to see him the way you see him. And what
Yes.
the
Mhm.
Lord revealed to me is that you think your breath don't stink.
Yeah.
Lucille, you think
Yep.
you perfect. You make that man late for every time y'all go somewhere. You, you irritating his very soul. but but you
Oh,
think
man.
but you looking at what's going on with him. And I just had to
Right.
really take a step back and say, you know what, Lord, I'm so sorry that I thought I was perfect. And I had to apologize to him and say, you know what, I, I whatever he brought up, I said, you know what, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Because I used to have a problem with taking ownership for it. Well,
Mhm.
Right.
you
Right.
did so and so and so and so. No, I'm deflecting when I do that. No, I'm
Right.
sorry. I didn't mean that the way it came out. I'm sorry you took it that way. That's definitely not the way I meant it. And I'm sorry I made us late the last 10 times. I'm gonna try to get better. I'm gonna try to get better.
That is true. When you see your own faults and you see that, it changes everything. When you can finally see yourself and how you
Yeah.
are contributing to that situation. Because a lot of times you'd be like, you're irritating, you're this, you're that, you're this. And it's like, what? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's you. That's you. And it kind of can go
Mhm.
back and forth.
Uh-huh. And so if he can forgive me for what I do, who am I not to forgive him? And then think about our Father. He forgives us for all the stuff
For
that we do.
everything.
Yeah.
So
For everything.
so
Yes.
we want to sit down here. We deserve death. And he still lets us live, and we can't
Yes.
forgive our partner for getting on our nerves or doing that thing that they do that we don't like.
That we don't like.
But they put up with us all the time. So
Mhm.
so I love that.
That's right.
So in the interest of time, Jeff, I Pata has some health and wellness questions that she wants to ask you.
All right, Jeff. It's you and Deborah
Let's
asked
go.
each other. You and Deborah asked each other, "What do you need from me today?"
Mhm.
Why is that emotionally powerful?
So
You
when
know, you
you
asked each other that
ask,
question. Why is that?
yeah, when you ask, you're not asking, that's not what you're asking. You're asking, do you need me to hold your, do you need me to,
Okay.
do you need me to affirm today? Do you need me to just be? Like,
Okay.
I love what you said, Patty. You said earlier, I just want to be around him. Well, me, I'm a go. Like, as soon as I'm up, boom, I'm like
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking up
Mm-hmm.
stuff, cleaning stuff, I'm doing something in the backyard, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the gym or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case. I'm on Saturdays. I'm up. I was Saturday mornings. You hear Sade going. You somebody's about to get up and get cleaning. That is what I knew.
You came up in a
And
household
so
similar to me.
mornings, yeah. So for me, that was
Yeah,
what I
my
did.
husband did that, and I stayed in. I was the one that stayed in the bed till 1 o'clock. So yeah, I understand that.
Oh yeah, and my wife, she would be like, "Babe, it's Saturday. We've been running all week.
Lay back down.
This is our sabbatical." I'm like, "Okay, this is my sabbatical. Like I find it relaxing. Like we listening to gospel music and sweeping and mopping and she okay, do that at 10." But my wife is just like you. If you just sit in this room with me, you can watch TV, do whatever. But if you, I'm good.
You're present.
How do how are you showing up? Want to be loved? Cause see, there's sometimes when we want to love people how we want to be loved, and then get person doesn't feel like you're loving them. I don't feel talking about. I got you gifts. I did this for you. I did that for you. Blah 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 blah. And they're like, but that's not what I need.
That right there. That right there. And I think that's
Yeah.
prevalent in a lot of marriages. I remember one year my husband gave me this really expensive gift and it was very, very nice. But all I wanted was tuition to pay to go to take my courses in college. I would have preferred that than a gift. And he was just like, you don't appreciate them. Like it was a big thing. It was a big thing. To your point, yes, I have experienced that, like knowing how to love me. I really, really appreciate if you would have gave me this money that you spent for this gift that I could have paid for school. So, I'm pissed because I didn't get that. He pissed because he went out and bought all this very nice, took the time, this very nice gift. So knowing, like you said, how to love the person. And you talk about friendship. So what's one way couples can better be friends to each other? A lot of couples didn't start off with that 7th, 8th grade knowing each other. So they meet as adults. What is one way they can really be better friends to each other?
Slow down. Slow down. Like there's no need to rush into shit. A lot of times quick to like that. So it's interesting you asked this question. There's a who was a part of our youth move, and I seen on her stories, she has a boyfriend and she's over that, blah 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 blah. And I text her just like, hey, slow down. Like you're so anxious to be in this relationship. Y'all just started talking a month ago, and that's my husband. Oh my gosh. And I said, listen, anything that probably not gonna last long. Anything that takes time is it's gonna last. Everybody. Even if you let's just say you met somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be with them forever, and it's been 9 months. Months have been intentional. That's the key element. You have to be intentional with the time that you spend with somebody. Favorite color, their first and last name.
Wow.
Their favorite food. That is surface level stuff.
Wow.
Did you take? Hey, what is the trauma that you've been through, and have you gone through counseling? Have you gone to so that he can fix in your heart, so that he can reveal this to you in your heart? Have you done the work? Then you have to ask yourself, should you relationship? And so there was be intentional, take your time, and allow the Spirit to work in you. If the Spirit is working in you, you're intentional in saying, hey, what's your credit like? Because if we get married, your credit becomes my credit.
Why you want to know what my credit is?
They don't want to
like?
ask those questions.
Exactly. Well, there's some good questions.
I don't need more. I don't need the more. I don't need you to tell me if it's a -5 or if it's an 800. I don't need you to tell me. I just need to know: is it fair? Is it good? Is it extraordinary? Let me know. Because even if it's not good, you made some bad decisions back in the day. You just don't have the information. Cool, I have the information. If you're willing to do the work. Why? Because I see, man, this person is willing to grow. If you're willing to grow, we can work with that. If information changes situations. And as long as you have the right information, then we can do this together.
Right.
But most people, they're too quick. Take your time.
Right.
Be
totally defensive.
Ask real questions. Not surface.
Great answer. I love that. All right, I'm going to take a minute to just speak directly to our listeners. Marriage requires emotional stamina. We've been talking about that a lot during this episode. When couples don't rest, don't check in, and don't care for their bodies, communication suffers. But when you pause, pray, hug longer, and ask real questions, How is your credit? We regulate stress and reconnect. Healthy marriages are built in the pauses, not just in the plans. Just wanted to wrap that up because we've been talking about a lot about being intentional and pausing and learning how to love your spouse.
I love that. I
Absolutely.
love that. So, Jeff,
You-
we usually ask one heart to heart question at the end of our time together. And so I'm going to ask you one too. What's one heart to heart question couples could ask tonight of, of their, to have a deeper conversation?
What is one thing need to have a heart to heart? What? So you ask your partner, your husband, your wife. You can ask, what is something that I can do better for you to have a greater experience?
Ooh.
Mm. Ooh, like that.
Question. The reason why you ask that question is because you're putting yourself to the side, making them first. First in an argument, are you willing to make them first when things are good? It should be a whole nother extreme. Then what is something for you that have made us have a greater experience with each other? The thing is, we are one. We enjoy
Mm-hmm.
each other,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm willing. The only
Wow.
competition that we should ever have in our relationship is who.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says Christ came to serve, not to be served. I'm here to serve my
Mm.
wife. I'm here to love my wife as Christ
Wow.
of the church and lay my life down for her. Colossians 3 says, men, do not deal hard. So, or there's a New King James that says, love your wife bitter towards her. If you feel bitter towards your wife, you have to ask yourself, what are some things that down at the altar before asking to like God to bless you? For the ladies, same
Wow.
thing. You are there to serve
I
him
love
as much as he is there to serve you. Because of the
Mm-hmm.
person you say you love.
a
And if you're
privilege.
saying you desire to be around them, you love them, service is an act of kindness of Christ. If we follow him, we're operating in his character.
I love that. I
I
love that.
love that. I love.
The only competition is how we're serving.
Mm-hmm.
I
And that
love that.
that kind of reminds me, you hear people say,
Mm-hmm.
50-50, I want a 50-50 love. That was a song way back in the days. And
Yeah,
people kind of picked it up and ran with
yeah,
it. And
yeah.
so I would say, from what you're saying, seeing how you can be of best service to somebody. And I wrote it down because I'm gonna ask my husband that tonight. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for that. But
Me too.
I tell
Amen.
people, no, it's 100-100. It's not 50-50. It's 100
Mm-hmm.
100. And sometimes, to Patter's point, when she had to be her husband's friend instead of being his wife in that moment, that may have required her to be, to show up as much as she could. Maybe she couldn't show up at 100, but
It
maybe
was
she
it
had to
was a
show
lot.
up. Maybe she had to show up as 90, and he only could show up as 10, you know,
Exactly.
or
Yep.
whatever it is. We
That's
Mm-hmm.
gotta
the
we gotta
equation.
be we gotta balance each other out, and then that service piece is so important. So I love that you reminded us of that. If you would just take a
Amen.
few minutes and tell us about your merch. You have a couples workbook merch with a
Yeah,
message.
absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So, as you guys can see, I have one of my hats right here. It's God is good on it. Um, so the God is good hats. I mean, we've heard this saying, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is
All the
good.
time.
God is
God is
God
good.
is good.
And so we said we've all these different merch with people ever and all the things, but we said we want to give them Jesus, and we want to be able to have conversation pieces. So my son one day he had a card, he had some flat cards, and he said, "Dad, look," and he put God and it's good all the time. And I looked at his writing, hats and shirts, and everywhere we go, people are like, "Yes, I love your shirt." I work out in them. Like, so we have good shirts and hats, and we just dropped a new hat, and it says Jesus is God. That came from a billboard when we were driving out of the out of our city, and the billboard said Jesus is. And I'm like, well, if you look at John 10:10, Jesus says you like me and the. So how they are not sin, but they are equal in power. This is God. And so we have another hoodie says that Jesus is sovereign. And all the proceeds that we have will part of this merch, making sure that we do it for students every year. And so to merch with the message goes to making sure that no kid is left behind. No leader that can't pay for their way, they won't be left behind. And this actually it's like this is our kids' business. So we help them build it. We pay for like the hats, the hoodies, the t-shirts, and all the things, and they're the creators. And anytime we get paid, we put that into some of that money into their Roth IRA, and then the other half goes in. Students get paid for camp. I have our workbook, Covenant Love. My wife, we worked on right here. You guys can see it. And journey to Christ in her marriage. Book for quite some time, and I didn't know. I was like, man, I'm not a good writer. I'm not a good writer. My wife said, you have to stop saying you're not a good writer. She was like, Sunday.
Right.
So don't tell me you're not a good writer. People, she was like, how can you say you're not a good writer when writing the sermon? That doesn't make sense to me. And so one day, writing about how much I love marriage, and I just started writing thoughts. We went to South Africa to a youth conference with our pastor, and a flight for 14 hours, so you have nothing on your hands.
Long flight,
and, on the flight there, I just started beginning to go, what do I want to see, understand about marriage? And so I made this course or this work, and it's very short, but it's quick and easy. It's about 6 chapters, and then it goes into once you're done, you go into saying, hey, do I want to have one-on-one coaching course with Jeff? And so that is what merch for the message is. That's how it started, and all the workbook, it started out as I'm tired of seeing people getting divorces, and I'll leave with this is when I'm teaching, and they come to me, oh, this is my new boo, this is my new boyfriend, this is my new boyfriend. I tell them, stop dating so much, learn yourself, because what you're doing, you're training your mind for divorce already. Oh, I dated him, I dated her, I dated her, I dated her, I dated her. Oh, if I'm not happy, if I don't like you anymore, I can quit. And so now mind to say divorce is an option. And divorce is an option.
Yeah.
And so I was just of seeing so many young people throw in the towel so fast, just because they weren't happy.
Absolutely.
That's where our marriage came from. That's where our marriage workbook came from. The message came from.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that. That is how Pata and I connected when we got on the subject, of I told her I wanted to do something for married couples, to try to help them because she and I both and all of us were saying we see so much divorce. Me in
Mm-hmm.
particular, I work in my church. I worked in youth ministry probably almost 30 years. And my little kids that came through my ministry, I would see them. I'd be invited to their weddings and stuff, and it's beautiful and happy on that day. And I might see them at the grocery store 2 years later, how you doing with your little husband or with your wife or whatever, and then they say they're divorced. And my heart would just sink and I would just be like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness, what was it, 2 years? You don't even know you ain't even had no hard times yet. You
Yeah,
you
like
couldn't
you still in the
possibly have
honeymoon phase.
experienced yes.
Yeah,
two
she's still in the newness.
2 years, you ain't seen how
Yeah.
bad it could really get yet in
Mm-hmm.
2 years,
Mm-hmm.
but this was the birth of her and I talking about, putting something together, a podcast that, could possibly be our little part of it in helping to put something out there that would help, from a biblical perspective, from a
Mm-hmm.
practical perspective, on some um, I guess encouragement more so than anything, some
Right, right.
encouragement that
Yeah.
you can stay in this, that struggle, difficult times, conflict, that's just part of life, that's part of marriage, and you can
Part
get
of
to the other
marriage.
side. And
Get to
she
the
and
other
I,
side. On
she
the
and
other
I had the
side.
conversation that and I told her I never saw myself getting to this part. This is
Me
the other
neither.
side that we have made it to, and I'm so happy that we got here. I'm so blessed that the Lord did this because it definitely wasn't me. I was trying to get out
Exactly.
of
And
it.
like you say, after all
Hey,
these years, I still like my husband.
come on now.
After all these
I
years, I
still
still
like
like
my
mine.
husband.
It's better. I like him better now than I did when we first got married.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So we want to let
Ah,
people know that it is possible to get to this. There's another an other side that you're not aware of in the beginning, and it
yes.
I don't know where it kicks in. I don't know if it's around 20, 25. I don't know what it is,
I
but
think it just kicks in at different times for different people. It just depends on, you
Oh
got to
yeah.
go through those valleys and those peaks. So,
mhm.
Hmm.
Yep. So we've made it here to this other
So
side and we are
so
both so
my one of my
happy.
best friends, his dad told me this right before I got married, and he told him this before he got married. He said, "Your marriage is whatever you want it to be." And he said, "If you
Mm.
want it to be an amazing marriage, it can be. If you want to work it, if you
work.
want it to be terrible, don't work at it. It'll be terrible." He was like, "Because you got two imperfect, it'll be a terrible marriage." He said, "But if
Yes.
you guys are willing to put the work, fun, it'll be exciting, it'll be blissful in valleys, but you'll be like, man, I don't want to go through these peaks and valleys with nobody else but you." He's
Exactly.
like, so make sure you make the choice
Exactly.
every day to say, my marriage is amazing because I'm going to be intentional with it. And I know, mm-hmm,
That's some amazing advice. That is really some good advice right there.
Yeah.
I had heard early on that the grass is always greener on the other side, and your grass will be green too if you water it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, for sure. For sure. For sure. All
Oh, so
right.
I love that. So, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for reminding us that friendship, faith, and daily intention keeps love strong. So, I'm
Yes.
going to end here and say uh, thank you for your faith filled wisdom. Thank you for being open to that good advice that you got. And to our listeners, remember your marriage is whatever you're willing to build with God and consistent effort. So until next time, keep building a stronger, deeper marriage. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.